The Bell X-1 was developed under U.S. Army Air Forces program in collaboration with Bell Aircraft Corporation, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, and other partners. Designed in the mid-1940s, the X-1 was essentially a rocket-propelled research aircraft, tailored for exploring the phenomenon of supersonic flight. The iconic fuselage bore a distinct resemblance to a .50 caliber bullet, chosen deliberately due to the bullet's known stability at transonic speeds. The X-1 was powered by a XLR-11 liquid-fueled rocket engine, capable of producing 6,000 pounds of thrust. Its construction utilized cutting-edge technology with a thin wingspan to minimize drag and withstand the immense stresses of supersonic travel. Charles Chuck Yeager, a decorated World War II fighter pilot whose unparalleled skill and courage earned him the opportunity to pilot the X-1. Yeager began his military career as a mechanic, but he transitioned to flying during World War II. He flew P-51 Mustangs and became an ace in a day, shooting down 5 enemy aircraft in a single mission. He was shot down over German-occupied France, but evaded capture with the help of the French resistance, demonstrating incredible resourcefulness and courage. The cockpit of the X-1 was equipped with basic instrumentation by today's standards, but was advanced for its time. It included instruments to measure speed, altitude, and the stresses acting on the aircraft. Yeager's seat was cushioned to absorb some of the vibrations expected during transonic flight. The X-1 had thin, straight wings with a high aspect ratio to reduce drag at high speeds. The wingspan measured just 28 feet, 8.53 meters, designed to handle the stress of transonic and supersonic airflow. The ailerons, elevators, and rudders were manually operated, and hydraulic systems at the time were not yet reliable for supersonic flight. The aircraft used a retractable tricycle landing gear system, enabling it to be towed for ground testing and to land after flight. After the war, Yeager was selected as a test pilot due to his exceptional flying skills and fearless attitude. His supersonic flight in 1947 was just the beginning of a career that saw him pilot a wide range of experimental aircraft. He contributed to the development of advanced aviation technologies and trained a generation of test pilots. On the morning of October 14, 1947, the Bell X-1, affectionately named Glamorous Glennis after Yeager's wife, was airdropped from a B-29 Superfortress over the Mojave Desert in California. As Yeager ignited the rocket engines and climbed altitude, the world held its breath in anticipation of what would happen as the plane neared Mach 1, the speed of sound, approximately 767 miles per hour at sea level. Before this flight, conventional wisdom suggested that breaking the sound barrier was impossible, or even deadly. Pilots have reported severe control issues and vibrations at transonic speeds. The aviation community debated whether the sound barrier was a literal wall of air pressure that could destroy the aircraft. As Yeager approached Mach 1, he encountered a violent shaking of the plane, an indication that the X-1 was challenging the transonic regime. Yet mere seconds later, the vibrations ceased and the plane glided smoothly. Yeager had done it. He had crossed the sound barrier, reaching Mach 1.06 at an altitude of 45,000 feet. A deafening sonic boom echoed across the desert, marking humanity's triumph over a new frontier of flight. What makes Yeager's story even more compelling is that just days before the flight, he suffered broken ribs in a horseback riding accident. Despite the pain and risk, Yeager chose not to disclose his injury for fear of being grounded. Instead, he flew with a broom handle fashioned as a tool to close the cockpit hatch, a testament to his tenacity and determination. Chuck Yeager's supersonic flight was more than just a technical milestone. It was a cultural and scientific breakthrough that shifted humanity's perception of what was possible. The Bell X-1 paved the way for subsequent aircraft design, including military jets, experimental planes, and even spacecraft. Moreover, Yeager's accomplishments established him as an icon in the annals of aviation history. His courage, innovation, and resilience became benchmark for pilots and engineers alike. Yeager later chronicled his experiences in his autobiography, aptly titled Yeager, providing first-hand insight into his fearless approach to challenges. The Bell X-1 went on to perform additional test flights, and several variants of the X-series aircraft followed. Together, they contributed to the advancement of supersonic and hypersonic technology, bridging the gap between early aviation and the space race of the 1950s and 60s. Born on February 13, 1923, in Myra, West Virginia, Yeager enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps in 1941 and served as a fighter pilot during World War II, flying 64 missions and shooting down 13 German aircraft. Yeager continued his career in aviation, setting a world speed record in 1953 and later commanding fighter squadrons during the Vietnam War, demonstrating his leadership and tactical expertise. Yeager flew an astonishing variety of aircraft throughout his career, totaling over 200 different types. Some of the most notable ones include the aforementioned Bell X-1, the aircraft in which he famously broke the sound barrier in 1947, P-51 Mustang, his fighter plane during World War II, where he became an ace, the F-104 Starfighter, used for high-altitude testing, including a near-disastrous flight, the P-80 Shooting Star, one of the first U.S. jet fighters, the F-100 Super Sabre, a supersonic jet he flew during his military career, the B-57 Canberra, a bomber he flew extensively during the Vietnam War, and the F-4 Phantom, another aircraft he commanded during his service. Yeager also flew captured German and Japanese aircraft after World War II for evaluation. His experience spanned everything from propeller-driven fighters to cutting-edge experimental jets. He retired from the U.S. Air Force as a brigadier general in 1975 and remained an active advocate for aviation and space exploration throughout his life. Yeager's achievement earned him numerous awards, including the Silver Star, Distinguished Flying Cross, Presidential Medal of Freedom, and induction into the National Aviation Hall of Fame. Chuck Yeager and the Bell X-1 set the stage for a new era of aviation. Breaking the sound barrier shattered the myth of so-called sonic wall and inspired a generation of engineers and aviators to push the boundaries of technology. Their achievement not only advanced military and experimental aircraft design, but also laid the groundwork for commercial supersonic travel and space exploration. Living a very long and successful life, he passed away on December 7, 2020, at the age of 97. Chuck Yeager's legacy extends far beyond his groundbreaking flight in the Bell X-1. His career was a tapestry of remarkable achievements and contributions.